One of the biggest problems that I deal with in philosophy is the problem of other minds. This is a very serious problem if you are a thinker. I often tell people that you really do not know what the fuck is going on. Like, that is not a joke. You have no clue what is going on. You know nothing. The only thing that you are sure of is the existence of your own mind. You know that your mind exists. That's without a doubt. How do you know? You being able to know shows you that you have a mind. You wouldn't know anything if you didn't have a mind. You being able to question your existence shows that you have a mind. You wouldn't question anything if you did not have a mind. But how do you know that other people have a mind? There have been so many people that have criticized me for thinking this way. I'm like, dude, you don't realize that this is exactly how every human should think. You must question everything. You must be so skeptical that you question your own existence. You have to be so skeptical that you question your own existence. Do I even exist? After questioning your existence, then you question if other people actually exist. Because you cannot be sure that other people really exist. You cannot be sure. You can only assume that other people exist. It's just an assumption. It's not a fact. You do not know that. And what scares me is that you cannot know. You cannot know if other people exist. Listen, you're conscious and you know beyond any reasonable doubt that you're conscious. How do you know? You being able to know that you're conscious is a sign that you're actually conscious, because you wouldn't know anything if you weren't conscious. But how do you know that other people have minds? Other people really do exist. And if they do exist, how do you know that they're experiencing reality the same way that you're experiencing reality? See, that's the problem with other minds. How do you know that your blue is their blue? How do you know that when you try to describe something, you're describing the same thing? I mean, as humans, we project a lot. A person might tell us something and we project, right? We kind of guess what we think they mean, even if you don't have a clue what they really mean. So if you're really honest with yourself, you realize that the problem of other minds is one of the biggest problems in philosophy. And if you are really honest with yourself, you will actually do question the existence of other minds. You won't just be like too sure that other people do have minds. Like, it's not a fact. Life is so strange, and we still don't know what the truth is. Like, we still have no idea what the fuck is going on. So it needs to get to a point where you're literally questioning everything. You can never be too sure. Like, they never reach a point where you are too sure if you do not know enough. The only thing that you can be sure of is the existence of your own mind. When I talk about solipsism, people criticize me. Like, what do you mean that it's actually possible that only one mind exists. Some people believe in non-duality. They believe that only one mind exists, but it has split itself into different perspectives. So there's only one mind, and there can only be one mind, but it has split itself into different perspectives. Solipsism suggests that no, there's only one mind, and it cannot split itself into different perspectives. It can only be one. There can only be one awareness. There can only be one ego. Meaning that your ego cannot split itself into different egos, right? There can only be one ego. That's the dangerous way to think. Meaning that the only way that you can exist is as an ego, right? What your own mind is able to do is dream, right? But it has to dream of itself as something that is not, as something that is separate from itself, right? It has to dream that it has an ego, and its ego is separate from itself. And that's all that it's ever done, right? Like, that's existence. That's always been existence. So you are literally the only conscious thing in existence. Yeah, iru camera. Iru penga ngo iru camera liru. Madawin sex ayin rutongo go fuso. Na meru wona go misko kususwana maswula ku. Mara raw mesos nen. So raskota no ru rendelega lo ru pressor rendelega ru kombesa ngwino lo ku pressor so rendelega ru kombesa mina so. Ru kashingo. So rutana ru mic an ro ko na liru. You think so. Mina ti Amstel non muna kuma Kenya Amstel. Okay. Kumbela Kenya Amstel. Thank God. Malan ngakon. Oh, ana mino yanga ya nbo bia jala zingeza tu ma maso na so. Ako kan kari elinyana no se. Avela na men famba late ngofu so. Yeah, I drink a lot. I mean, what can we do in this existence anyway? Sometimes, like, I don't like being, I don't like being bored, you know. The thing is, I think a lot. Like, when I'm bored, I think a lot. So I don't know, I allow myself to think, you know, but not when I'm bored. Like, because here's the thing, man, when you are like me, when you're a person that's addicted to thinking, if you get bored, you start stressing. See, like, I'm really addicted to thinking. I think. I don't think that there are many people that think like me. Like, I think. You know, I meet a lot of people who say, oh, I'm a deep thinker, like, dude. I think to a point that I actually become super depressed, trying to understand the nature of reality. That's why I'm talking to you, telling you about the problem of other mind and solipsism. It's one of the deepest problems that I think about. How do I know that I'm not God? I know it sounds crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like, how do I know? Like, how is existence even possible? How is existence even possible? Because I know that I exist. Is it not possible that I am the only thing that actually exists, and everything else is just figments of my imagination, really. Everything is happening within my mind. Is that not possible? The problem is that I already know that it is possible because I dream. That's the problem. I already know that it is possible because I am able to dream. I am able to create reality in my own head. In my own mind, let me put it that way. Like, I'm able to create a story in my own mind and be part of that story and think that I'm not part of the story, right? Be a character in the story that I've created and not even know that I created that story. I know what you're thinking. How do you know that you create your dreams? And that's a valid question. And that's why I'm saying you can never be too sure of anything, right? I do have dreams where someone is like really like doing something that hurts me, and after waking up I'm like, really, did I create that shit? Remember when I told you in one of my recent videos I had what they call sleep paralysis, right? Where like I couldn't say anything, like I couldn't speak, I couldn't even move, and there was this woman that was looking at me. She had this creepy smile, just looking at me, you know, as if she got me, as if she's been, you know, there's one thing about dreams that I actually think is interesting, right? When you're dreaming, you start to remember things that you don't remember in this reality. Does that ever happen to you? Like, you start to remember some things associated with the dreams that you are having, but that you don't really remember when you are in this reality. Isn't that odd? I mean, even when you are in your dreams, you don't like remember everything that happens in this reality. That is why I'm saying, like, I think the only way to escape this reality is to stop believing anything. Like, you believe nothing. Fuck everything that they told you. Fuck science, fuck evolution, fuck everything they told you about dreams. Ain't everything. Like, you need to become like a child and tell yourself what you think the truth is. What makes the most sense? Not what they told you makes sense. You need to tell yourself what actually makes sense. Right? You're the person that needs to validate your own thoughts. Because the thing is, man, you've given authority to other people who do not know shit. Or who might know shit, but here's the problem. You don't know enough. And some of the things that you do not know are things that you believe other people know. What if other people don't know shit and you just believe them just because you've given them so much power? I think the truth, like, you need to tell yourself what the truth is. You know, you don't need to tell yourself what other people are saying the truth is. You are the one who needs to tell yourself what the truth is. You're the one that has the ultimate authority. You know, you have to take yourself that seriously. I mean, why shouldn't you take yourself that seriously? Think about it. You're conscious and you know that you're conscious. That's without a doubt. Why should you believe what other people are telling you instead of listening to what your own mind is telling you? What makes the most sense to you? You can't just say, oh, this person has studied science and, they studied quantum physics, so they understand reality, whatever. Like, I really hate it when people say, Nietzsche believed this, or Einstein believed this, or Tesla. Like, nigga, fuck those motherfuckers. I don't know them. I need to trust myself. I trust my own mind. You have to trust your own mind. What do you think? I need to get to a point where you are that arrogant. Because I think that is the only way that we can be manipulated. Think about it this way, né? If you were in a dream, and in the dream there were scientists, right? There were scientists that you actually trust, and they were telling you what reality is. Do you think they will tell you the truth? You find out they're doing science in a dream that you are in, and they're telling you, oh well, we exist because two stones collided and they caused this and that. Look, I mean, think about the Big Bang Theory. Like, does that even make sense to you? Like, let's stop bullshitting ourselves. It is most likely that life itself is a dream. It's most likely. And if you are to be honest with yourself, it's actually most likely that you are the only conscious thing in existence. I'm not telling you that you're the only conscious thing in existence, but I'm making a case for solipsism here because it does make sense when you really think about it. I mean, we have reached a new age where many people actually do believe that consciousness is fundamental, right? Many people, even though I don't like to give other people authority, but it's weird to me that a lot of people actually believe that consciousness is fundamental. People that are respected. Not always, but once I started to think that consciousness might be fundamental, I never stopped thinking that it might be fundamental. Like, once I started thinking that consciousness might be fundamental, I never stopped thinking that consciousness might be fundamental. And if consciousness is fundamental, can there be two consciousnesses? No, this is a valid question. Or can there be two minds within one reality? Or there can only be one mind within one reality, and this one mind is hallucinating reality. Now, this will then mean that there are no other minds per se. I want you to get this. Maybe reality can only exist within one mind, right? But there are other minds that you can never have access to, right? So that will mean that solipsism is true and not true at the same time. It will mean that yes, you are the only conscious being in your own universe, but there are other universes where that you cannot access. Like you can never have access to these universes, or these realities. So yeah, and the solipsism is true. You're the only conscious being in your own world. And that's the best way to look at life, man. Like, if we're really honest with ourselves, and if you really want to live life like a G, then you got to look at life that way. I understand that it can be toxic, But think about it. Who told you that you're not the only conscious being in the universe? And why do you believe that you're not the only conscious being in the universe if dreams are telling you that you are the only conscious being in the universe? I mean, dreams do tell you that. You wake up from your dreams and you know beyond any reasonable that you are the only conscious thing in the universe, right? You wake up from your dreams and you're like, yeah, I am the only conscious thing in the universe. But then, I mean, I was the only conscious being in that dream. That's what you tell yourself. And then you wake up to this reality and you're like, yeah, there are other people, there are other minds. I think the most logical way to live life is to live life as a solipsist. This doesn't mean that you must start mistreating other people. What it means is that you must take other people as aspects of yourself. I'm the only one here, but everything else is part of my imagination. So let me not create a world where we're gonna hate each other. I understand that aspects of myself might hate me for some reason, whatever, but let me not be a hater. Let me not judge, Let me just understand that I'm the only conscious thing and this is my mess. I know that this is a wrong way of thinking if I'm wrong, right? Like, let's say I'm not the only conscious being in the universe and other people really do exist and they're just fucked up. And that's the reason why this world is too fucked up. But it's also possible that I might be the only conscious thing in the universe, and this mess is just, it's just a fucking hallucination. Like, people do hallucinate. We know people with schizophrenia who see demons, right? And you're like, well, that's kind of happening in their own minds anyway, but they believe that these things are not happening within their own minds. They believe that they actually experiencing what we call reality. I mean, you can explain that in other ways, like, oh yeah, no, actually they are experiencing reality, but we don't have access to that reality, so we don't think that it's real. I get that. But you need to be that skeptical, man. You need to be that skeptical. This reality is too weird for people to act as if they know what the fuck is going on. So I can't tell you if you are the only conscious being in the universe, but I can make you question if you're not the only conscious thing in the universe. And I think that is important. Whether you are the only conscious being in the universe or not, I think that is a sign of intelligence. You are questioning your own reality. Because as humans, we haven't been programmed to like question things. We've been programmed to just view things the same way, or let me say we've been programmed to just believe what we're told, you know. They just tell you, well, this is the truth, and you just believe that it's the truth. What if us believing that is what's causing us a lot of suffering? Like, we've started to believe things that make no sense, and we've given our authority away. Maybe you are the only conscious being in the universe, and you just believe people that you should have never believed in the first fucking place. You know? This is dangerous information, because if you're not ready for it, and you believe me, like, just say you start to believe that actually Benedictines might be right. What if I'm the only conscious being in the universe? Let's say you're not ready for this kind of information and you start to believe me. Chances are you're not gonna, like, it's not gonna help you. You're gonna start to act in a way that's self-destructive, you know? Like, well, I might be the only conscious being in the universe, so who cares? But I actually believe that it must help you. Dude, look at this. Do you think animals are self-aware? I am Johnny. Forget. Now people will be like, well, if animals are not self-aware, then that means that it's right to kill animals. Like, no, you're not getting it. I'm saying that if solipsism is true, it means that everything is part of you. Everything comes from you. So should you abuse aspects of yourself? There's this other philosophical idea, I think they call it the egg theory, right? It's kind of like solipsism. They say that there's only one mind, and it's your mind. Now, you're not going to, you're God, right? You're God, but you're never going to realize that you're God until you live life through the perspectives, through different perspectives, like through everyone that's been, through every living being that's been here, through everything that's ever been conscious. I hate the egg theory, because that would mean that I would suffer like fucking crazy, right? I would have to live life as my dad, I'll have to live life as my mom, I'll have to live life as Adolf Hitler, I would have to live life as Charles Manson. I think Charles Manson suffered a lot. Dude was fucking intelligent, bro. They kept that nigga in prison. I'll live my life as a chicken, live my life as a fucking snake, as an ant. I hate the egg theory, but I don't think it's true. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if everything is part of yourself, then it is good to treat everyone well. Treat everyone the way that you would want to be treated, you know? Other than hating people, other than blaming or judging people. You know that you're right. Let me tell you this truth. If you're an Antinatalism, you're right. Whether solipsism is true or not, you're right. Like, it can't be... Listen, there isn't anyone that can debate Antinatalism truly. Like, you can't do that. It's not possible, right? So antinatalism is true. That's without a doubt. But that doesn't mean that you must blame other people. Because even if other people did exist and they had their own minds, they weren't capable of seeing what you see. What you must do is try to make them understand. There's a reason why I make videos almost every day talking about solipsism. I'm training myself because maybe one day I will be able to talk about antinatalism on a larger scale, right? Like, I'll be able to reach more people, and also I'll be able to debate with a lot of people. So that's me training myself, but that's also me trying to reach people. Like, yo, this is the truth. Like, how come you don't see that this is the truth? This is, like, I don't make videos to tell people to stop having kids. I make videos to make people realize that antinatalism is true. That's it. That's what it's about. It's not about telling people, oh, stop having kids. Having kids is... No, I'm trying to make people realize that, yeah, having kids is wrong. You see? And that is something that's very important for people to realize in general. I mean, I've been drinking today, but I still had to record something. And I'm gonna upload this episode. I don't give a damn how drunk I am. I'm still gonna upload this episode. I've been wanting to talk about solipsism, so I was like, you know what? Let me talk about something that that I've been thinking about a lot, so that I won't have to think deeply because I'm drunk, you know? I think a lot about solipsism. I think a lot about the problem of other minds. I think a lot about NPCs, backdrop people. Like that lady, Delirious Cannon. Is that her name? Delirious Cannon. Talks about backdrop people. Says that there ain't that many people who actually exist in this planet. There are very few people who actually exist. But I think I'm gonna have to talk about this separately. Let me not talk about backdrop people on this episode because it can be a bit confusing. What is very obvious to me is that nothing is what it seems. So you have to be completely skeptical. Act like you don't know because you don't know. Think like you don't know because you don't know. Feel, and this is important, feel like you do not know because you do not know. It needs to get to a point where you're so skeptical that you don't fucking care. Like, hey man, I don't know. I'm saying this shit. Because here's the thing. You've made too many assumptions. Oh, all the things that hurt you have to do with your beliefs. There's something that you believe, right? That is why you get hurt. If you believe nothing, you wouldn't get hurt. Do you understand that? Like, you wouldn't be attached to anything because what do you believe? This reality hasn't confirmed anything to you. So why do you believe anything? Why shouldn't you be completely skeptical? Like, hey man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just here as an observer. I have no clue what the fuck is going on. Whatever happens, happens. This shit is a fucking movie. Like, don't allow this reality to torture you. Because you can consent to that, you know, believe it or not, you can literally consent to this reality actually torturing you. Like, if you want to free yourself, you need to reach a point where you believe nothing and care about nothing. People say that shit is impossible. It's not. It's not impossible. It's just not easy because of how we've been conditioned to think. You see the problem? It's not that it's not never ever conclude that something is impossible. That's another problem. You see, that is you pretending as if you know. No, nothing is really impossible because you don't know. You see? I mean, there are more than 8 billion humans. That's what we're told, but that's probably not true. But what I'm trying to show you is that if there are many humans in this world, then some humans might have been able to do something that you feel is impossible. You see? But that's probably not true. Nothing is true. Everything is an illusion, isn't it? Thank you all, guys.